I'm going to pull him in here on stage so he can be here and share it with us. And hopefully you guys are going to see like how impactful this can be for your own agencies as well. How can you apply the things that he's sharing today from a technical standpoint, but also from like a culture, values-driven perspective. So Keagan, you're it.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Awesome. Okay, well, you saved the worst for last or the best for last. I'm not sure.
The best for last, 100%.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me. Again, my name is Keagan, and I am the partner and COO at Height, and really excited to be here. My passion is championing the greatness in people, and I feel like delivering wow, creating wow, is like my biggest challenge in life every single day. So this is what I stress about every single day. So I'd love to start. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
I'll pull it up as soon as you bring it up.
Okay, let's see if this works. All right, here we go. Let me know if this works.
It's there.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I'm going to start in. I'm going to tell you one of the things that I believe is really true is that operations fails to create wow most of the time. And to be honest, operations is a backbone of any successful agency or business. But one of the things that we get so bogged down in is just the general task of day-to-day, the daily grind, and we forget about the wow factor. And so I think that there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to wow factor internally. How does operations actually deliver a wow factor for our team? And then also, how does our team deliver a wow factor for our clients? So my goal today is to really help you expand your mind. I'm going to tell you, just like Frankie, like we are in the grind on this stuff. This is not something that I believe we will ever completely figure out, because if we do, we're already behind. And so I think it's so important that you understand that really we are a practitioner of creating wow. We are working and practicing every day, testing different things, asking ourselves different questions, pushing ourselves probably to a point of exhaustion to figure out how we can ultimately create a wow experience for our clients. Just a little bit about me. As I said, ultimately, my mission is to champion greatness in people. And so really, you won't find me a lot like online. Most of the time, you'll find me with individual teams working on really talking to them about like, okay, guys, how can we become greater? And that is so important for me. I so desire for every person to be able to truly just have their greatness displayed out for everyone to see. And honestly, I just want to see them so successful. I want to see them thrive, not only in their personal life, but also professionally. And so that is where I spend most of my time. And I have a lot of fun, but I will tell you, one of the things that I absolutely love is championing the greatness of my family, because they've championed the greatness of me. And so you'll see my wife here. We actually have a newborn, actually now 7 months, and the time has flown, and we forgot what it was like to take care of a baby. We have roughly about a 9-year gap in between our two oldest and the baby. And so it has been quite the journey. It has been a wow experience, but we've had a lot of fun along the way. I will tell you, one of these pictures here, we were at a beach in Nicaragua. And just to tell you just a little bit about me is I'm definitely an entrepreneur, been a serial entrepreneur, sold a couple of companies. I was in the insurance space, sold an agency. And I'll tell you, there was one day before this picture that I was sitting in my chair and I thought that I would just die in my chair and my wife would find me dead. Now, I wasn't suicidal, thank goodness. But I actually thought I was so exhausted mentally, physically, spiritually, that I literally thought my wife is going to find me here and I'm going to be dead. That definitely would have been a wow experience from her, probably in a very negative. And so we actually picked our family up and went to Nicaragua for 2 months. And that was where I actually had a moment of transformation in my thinking. And it was that if I lost everything, I would be okay. That was a moment of contentment for me that I had never probably experienced in my life. And it really propelled me not to be lazy and just content with failing or whatever, but it propelled me to a different level of success and where I am today. And so I really thank my family for that, and for them to be patient with me as I figured some of those things out. I think it's really important for you to know at Height what our vision is and also our mission. And this is why we're doing this and why we're really focused on creating wow. And our vision is empowering dreams that enrich families, uplift communities, and shape generations. We have an incredible team in Nicaragua, but now we've expanded into LATAM, and also we have teams in the US. And ultimately, we are working every single day to empower the dreams of our team members and help them to see how we can help them enrich their families and uplift their communities and be game changers for their communities. Our mission is partnering with our clients to create success stories worth celebrating. And I think that creating wow is a big part of that. My goal today, I really just want to encourage you to create one more moment of wow. Be thinking about it. I'm going to share some different things that we're doing, but as I said, we're practitioners. And so ultimately, this is not something that it may work for you, but it may not. And you actually may be able to take what we've done and amplify it in some way and elevate your team in some way. And so take what I say with a grain of salt and utilize it as a stepping stone for your moment of wow. So what is wow-worthy service? Well, we actually look at it a couple different ways. One is a winning mindset. We know that if we're going to create a wow-worthy service, we have to cultivate a proactive and a solution approach to our clients' needs. So every single day, we're having to go in, no matter if the client is really happy with our service or not happy at all, we have to go in with a proactive, winning mindset and a solution approach. It would be so easy. I was literally with someone yesterday, with one of our VPs, and she was like, "Hey, I really need to understand how we can talk to this client. He's upset about X, Y, and Z." And we went through multiple different ways, and I had to figure out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we are not looking at this from a winning mindset. We are looking at this from a, oh my gosh, I think he wants to cancel," versus, you know what? We've got a solution and we're going to help you fix this problem. And so those are the things that we have to continue to focus on and for this wow-worthy service to actually work. The second is we have to be outcome driven. So focusing on actual tangible, measurable results that drive client growth. It's so important that our team is continually focused on outcome driven metrics and focusing on actual tangible things that people can touch and feel to know that it's being successful. And then lastly, wow-worthy service really requires a wholehearted commitment. And guys, I'm not trying to be fluffy here. I mean, all of these things actually are required. You can't have a losing mindset and think that you're going to create a wow-worthy experience. If you don't know what success looks like, if your team doesn't know what success looks like, there is no way that they'll be able to drive the outcomes and deliver a wow-worthy experience. And then the wholehearted commitment, if your team is not dedicated and they're not fully dedicated to the client's success, they're in it more for themselves versus the client, they won't be able to. So this is not only a framework, but it's a heart issue, guys. Like, if you don't have people that are doing these things, measure your people by this. If they can't show you these things throughout everything that they're doing every single day, they got to go like tomorrow. So make sure that everyone's got a winning mindset, outcome driven, and a wholehearted commitment. And I'm going to say it again. The fact is, operations fails to create wow. And so what happens when we fail to create wow? Well, the result is that our failure creates a sneaky skeptic. So let me explain what this means. We get these clients in, they're so excited. They think we're going to solve all their problems. We tell them we're not a magic pill, but they've already taken the pill and they think we are. Like, we are going to do some great work. But what happens is when we don't actually create the wow and those wow moments, they start becoming a skeptic of everything that we're doing, everything that we say, everything that they see. They start becoming a skeptic. They say things like, well, maybe they don't really understand my business after all. Maybe they were lying. is this why we're really seeing, like, is this why we're not seeing better results? Because they don't really understand me? Am I going to have to micromanage them now? I mean, how many times have you felt as if a business owner at first you thought was going to be hands off, and now they came in full on, like, I mean, just like a monster? It's because we did something that ultimately caused them to be a skeptic. And because we don't have moments of wow along the way and our customer journey is broken, we have valleys that we haven't actually addressed in our customer journey. We have now have a sneaky skeptic that I will tell you is very, very difficult to get rid of. It's very hard to mitigate it. So moments of wow, I like to look at it this way, covers a multitude of sins. And the deal is that when we do provide moments of wow, they actually see us as this beautiful person versus the gremlin. These little gremlins that ultimately they believe if we don't do these things, they actually believe that we are out there to get them. Like we are not on their side. And so to be a growth partner, to create moments of wow, it really provides us opportunity and buffer. When things go wrong, people have grace. It allows us to actually be able to have real conversations, real human conversations, be able to empathize with them. And so it gives us a lot of wiggle room to work with them. So I want to talk a little bit about winning mindset. I told you that things have to be tangible. Like this is not just fluff. And so one of the things that we have done, and I'm going to tell you guys, we are working so hard. I mean, we are in the grind on this. And so I want you to know that we have not figured this out. We launched something called the level system. And this is something that is some days I feel like we are just really killing it. And other days I feel like we are 5 years behind. And I think that's just part of my mentality. I'm an optimist and a realist and a worst case scenario guy, but I am always looking at like, oh my gosh, how do we get better? But the level system, what it actually does for us is it actually allows us to see and give a roadmap to our team of what success actually looks like for them. We actually have been able to give them a vision for their future. One of the things that we ran into at Hyde is we were growing so quickly that we elevated people beyond their actual competency. And so one of the things we wanted to do was we took someone that was really great at SEO and raised them up to a manager and figured out that they were past their competency level. And then it put them in a really hard predicament. What do we do with this person that now can't manage people, but was really good SEO? And so what we did was we changed it around and said, no, how do we give people opportunity within their current role and their current job functions? And so what we've done is we have these different levels within each job function to help them understand how they can level up and make more money and also thrive to become the best person they can be in that job function. And then ultimately that will give them other opportunities along the way. And so one of the things that we do is we actually evaluate our team on a monthly basis. We do a lot of monthly evaluations. We actually look at 322 data points to really track and see how our team members are doing. I will tell you, this is going to get better. We are in a really mindset of optimization right now and seeing a lot of gaps and where we're not doing well here with our team. But I will tell you guys, the best thing that we did was we just started. And I'm going to tell you with ops, if you're an ops person, for me, I love to start things. I'm kind of a weird guy because I'm very like driven ops wise, but I'm definitely entrepreneurial as well. But starting something like this can be kind of scary because your team expects excellence from it. And the problem is that the first iteration is usually not going to be excellent. It may be good, but you're going to have to know that excellence is coming. And so we have done that. We are working. We're going from good to great. And then from great, I'm hoping that we go to excellent. And that's what we're working towards. But this has been really good for us to be able to help people identify what success looks like, which ultimately aligns their winning mindset with the outcomes that we want to generate. A couple of things that we are tracking. We try to be really simple in what we track, so that everyone is aligned. Even our ops team is measured by some of these things. KPIs we're tracking: churn, quality assurance, task completion. Quality assurance is actually being completely revamped right now. Professional development, we're looking at what are they reading? We're looking at certifications. We're looking at skills and competencies. And then we're also looking at experience. And I'll tell you one area where I think that we could do a lot better, that we're going to be working on, is the skills and competencies. I think we have a really unique opportunity to help our team develop in certain competencies that they need to elevate themselves in. One of the things that I found is that sometimes we're a little bit too vague in the competencies, or we give them trainings that ultimately are for a lot of different competencies. And we need to start really honing down and niching down into certain areas of competencies that people can grow in and really focus. So that's one thing that we're really going to be working on this year. A couple of the things that actually I need to change this presentation on is that we had some guiding principles, but we actually just did a complete rebrand and a revamp of our brand. And so now we have core values, working values, that how we work and how we operate. And those are things that we're going to be measuring them on a monthly basis on, so that we can make sure that they are aligned with our values. So the next thing is outcome driven, and you have to obsess over the outcomes. It's so important. And so one of the things that I look at with our team, and when we're trying to find solutions to problems, and when we are looking at tech, when we're looking at AI, when we're looking at the outcomes that we're trying to achieve, I ask 3 different questions. And the first question is does it help us anticipate the needs of our clients? I think it's so important that we are working to anticipate the needs before someone raises their hand and says, I need help, or guys, we're behind, or guys, I think you did this wrong. We need to be able to anticipate those needs. And so we are always looking for solutions and technology, utilizing AI to help us be able to anticipate those needs better. The other thing is that we want to be able to ask, does it help us keep our promises? I think that technology has an incredible role for every individual in our company. And I think one of those is to keep our promises. I think the one advantage that we as agencies have that are high performing is keeping our promises is a huge competitive advantage. And so that is something that we're always looking to say is like, does this truly help us actually keep our promises? And then the last one is, does it help us communicate better? I don't know of any agency or any business that has said they have mastered communication. They have mastered emotional intelligence. They have mastered empathy. And so I think it's really important that we look for technology that ultimately helps us become better communicators, excellent communicators, and also helps us bring more clarity to the vision that our clients have. So one of the exciting ways that we do this is we utilize a company called grain.com to analyze a lot of our all of our conversations that we have with our clients. And it's a really unique tool. And I'll tell you, our team was asking the question, okay, do we build this or do we go with something that's already built? And I will tell you, all of us really like to build things, and it's really fun and it's really cool. But we actually said, you know what? We believe that this is so necessary and we need an MVP, a minimum viable product to test. And we believe that Grain actually had a lot of the features that we needed. And thankfully, they had the pressure of investors and everything else and all the tech and the developers, and they were building a lot of the things that we wanted. And so we decided to go with Grain. But what Grain does for us is that it is a recorder that comes into all of our conversations with our clients. And what we have done is that once that call has been recorded, we actually within minutes score every single call. And the goal here is for us to be able to anticipate the needs of our clients. It's to help us actually keep our promises, and it helps us also to communicate better. So now the great thing is that our pod leaders and also our VP of client experience can see almost in real time how our conversations are going with our clients. And so what we're continuing to do is we're continuing to gather all of this data and start looking at historical trends about the conversations that our clients our people are having with our clients. We want to start to be able to anticipate, are these people on the fence? Are they prone to cancellation? Are we serving them in the way that we should? And so we're looking at multiple different factors here. We're looking at overall effective meeting, the meeting effectiveness. We're looking at communication and clarity. We're looking at decision making. We're looking at conflict resolution. And what we've done, guys, is that we've just built these prompts for each one of these, and we put a score around them to help us get closer to that outcome that we're looking for. And I think that we could go back in here and probably redo a lot of our prompts and that we've learned from and everything else. But ultimately, the goal is not to get it completely right. It's really more so to give us insight. And if we notice a low score on something, that triggers us to be able to say, we need to jump on this. We don't have time to wait. We don't want to be reactive. We want to make sure that we can address whatever it might be, training opportunities or clarifying opportunities with our client. This has helped us tremendously. A couple of the things that Grain gives kind of out of the box is they do allow some different scoring mechanisms themselves. I actually like these, but I also like our prompts just because you can customize a little bit more about what you're looking for. I also like a lot of the metrics that they provide. It just allows you to search a little bit better, be able to get more insight into the overall conversations without having to watch, hours and hours and hours worth of video. And so that's been super helpful for us, and it's been really a game changer for us. This is just another screenshot really quick of how it kind of looks. But these are two of our account managers who were going through different calls. And then we actually have the ability to give feedback right there from the video so that people can actually watch specific piece of the video and understand the context and then be able to apply that feedback as we go forward. So the last thing I just want to talk about is, everyone still with me? Did everyone go to sleep? I'm trying to be super energetic right now, guys. It's hard being energetic when no one's looking at you,
I know it's so hard, but
I'm gonna have to go to counseling after this. So the last thing that I do want to say is commitment. It is truly what bridges the gap between what could be and what is. And I think it's really important that we understand that commitment to all of these things, commitment to the technology, utilizing the technology, commitment to the level system, commitment to helping our team improve on competencies and actually elevate them. My gosh, this is where I lose sleep, because I'm always feeling like my commitment is pulled somewhere. I know where we need to go, but there's so many different things that need to be done. And this is where we've got to keep ourselves in check. And so one of the things, this is, Manik said this, and I think we are continuing to optimize this, but we actually did go into a pod structure. And this has actually been super impactful for us and how we've done things. One of the big things that's allowed us to do is we have been much more committed to the clients that we serve. The conversations, the ability to understand what success looks like and solve problems has been incredibly impactful with our pods. And so that is something that has been really great for us. I don't know if it's great for every single person. Depends on how the size of your company. And I'll tell you, I think Manigan them said this, that, pod structure is great, but also you start running into like scalable issues and different things like that. I think we're in that position of really trying to figure out how we optimize our pods to be continuously more effective and impactful, but also how can we make sure that we're doing the best with our people and not just hiring more people just to solve problems. We want to be a company that doesn't just throw money at just solving problems just because we have it. We truly want to be able to say, how do we utilize our people that we have now to elevate them so they can help us solve those problems? And so this is something that we're working on continuously. We've learned a lot from it, but it really has elevated our customer experience. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. We had a very high churn several years ago. We experienced this high churn, and it's a little embarrassing, right, Karen? It's embarrassing to say it, but we knew we had to do something. And when we actually had this pod structure, we almost halved our churn. And it was incredible. Now, it took a lot of work. I think it took a lot of tears and everything else, but we got it done. And we're so excited about what we're doing and what we're able to accomplish now. Still have problems, still solving lots of issues and everything else. But the amount of stress that our team has, the amount of clarity that our doesn't have, the amount of clarity that our team has been incredibly impactful. Okay. And so it's been super great. The last thing I just want to say is that WOW truly emerges from subtle actions. And I think it's really important. A lot of the times when we think about WOW, we think about big events. Big events are no longer acceptable to our clients. They are looking for consistent WOW moments. We are competing with big companies that are consistently optimizing and improving their customer journeys to make it so seamless and frictionless. I give the example of Amazon. My wife buys a $750 rocking chair for this baby, and she didn't like it, of course. And so we got to send this thing back. And Amazon says, you know what? We're really sorry about that. Just have it. My wife said, well, I don't want it. I don't like it. They're like, well, you can just give it to someone. We're so sorry. Literally made it so frictionless. We didn't have to do anything. Now, I know we can't all do that, or we'd probably go bankrupt. But this is the type of experience that our clients are getting with other companies. And so we have to continuously optimize and obsess over WOW experience that are subtle. WOW experiences are not always about big things. It's not always about the things that you can ask about on ChatGPT, like, hey, ChatGPT, I'm trying to give a client a WOW experience. It actually involves human empathy. And what happens when you start inserting empathy into your process, it is amazing what can happen to that overall client relationship. And so those are the things that we're working on a daily basis. Those are the things that we're suffering on sometimes and losing sleep over. But we're just really excited to continuously work through creating amazing success stories for our clients. So I hope that I talked fast enough so that people can at least eat or go to the bathroom before their next meetings. Guys, that's all I've got.
Thank you so much, Keagan. That was super impactful. I always appreciate when we're talking about all this new things in business, but coming from a real perspective, because business is hard, guys, right? I don't know if you have been in business for a little while, you hopefully have seen not only the ups but also the downs, because like that's the only way that you learn, in my opinion, right? Of like, how do we improve and how do we keep going? So I appreciate you sharing the ins and outs of the business, and then also how impactful implementing these tools like Grain with AI has been in the whole journey. And I think it really encompasses, more than just like a tool implementation. It involves like the problem that you're solving. Why does this problem even matter? And the tool is just a way to get that solution. But identifying the root of the cause, it's way more important than like you focusing on learning all of these tools, right? If you don't understand what exactly is happening, there's no way that you're going to cut that churn in half. And so I appreciate that you not only share the background from the tool that and how you implemented it, but also what led to that, and what's the mindset that we have as a company and the values that we want to carry out to be able to do that. Keagan's also going to be at the Scale with Stability event that we have next month. So we're super excited to connect more on this. By the way, we're going to do an agency meetup as part of a committed mastermind. So if you're interested in joining us next month in Arkansas, we're going to have Damon John as a speaker, Keagan Henson as a speaker. Let me just like pull my slides again, just so
throw
you can
the slide.
the cool speaker lineup that we have, which I think, it's probably one of our best speaker lineups that we've had in I don't know, every year I say that, and like every year like it continues to get better because everybody's so good. But we're super excited to like bring different perspectives on business, right? From people that have done it, and then again just sharing, like there's going to be tracks. By the way, there's going to be tracks. So what does a track mean? You're going to be able to get your general access ticket. There's a QR code that you can pick in there. There's going to be a general access and a VIP access. The VIP includes lunch and dinners with some of the celebrities that we mentioned in there. But the tracks, you are able to pick a track that you're most interested on. So if your focus right now this quarter is to solve sales, or is to solve operations, or is to implement AI, or is to like be a better leader, and you want to bring your teammates, you can actually bring your teammates to be able to focus on what is the track that would best impact their lives today to solve the problems for the business, or the obstacles or the areas of opportunities that you have. So if you're looking, for example, automation, we're going to have high level. We're going to have Emily actually leading the lead generation track, and so many others. So get the QR code. You can get a extra 20% off with the code committed20. So make sure that you use that, because we're going to have a lot of fun, and there's so many surprises planned for that. And if you need any questions, or you need any more just thoughts on the event, message us directly. I'm on Facebook, Karen Height. It's my handle. So like just go and connect with us. David's there as well. David Murillo, Keagan Henson. I'm just going to put you there because, like
thank you. Appreciate it.
Wait. Hey, also on top of that, if they want to go and guys, if y'all want more information on this and just want to kind of dip your toe in there, there's a button on the front of the page. Okay. You can hop in there and you'll start receiving all the cool information about every one of these speakers, these tracks, and everything that we got coming at you, even right over there with Sean. And this is awesome. I mean, the closest thing we had to this recently was TCS, the Commitment Summit. And this one, you don't have to fly halfway across the world for. It's right here in Arkansas, very accessible. So super excited about this one. And like she said, for the agencies joining us, we have that awesome mastermind at the tail end. So very exciting
one thing
time.
I was just going to say, what I love about this event is that the people that are going to be there, the people that are speaking, are so accessible. These people are people you walk up to, and they are welcoming you and welcoming conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what's so amazing. Sometimes you go to events that ultimately you feel like, okay, maybe Damon John, he may not want to, he may do a fist bump versus like give a hug or something. I think that's kind of his thing, but that's just his thing. But all these other people like are so welcoming and hospitable, and they just bring so much value.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Damon just didn't want to wear a mask. You know what I mean? Like which is
hey,
nice,
I support any germaphobe. To be honest, I support any germaphobe. I will stand right by them.
But yeah, like Willie, awesome. We got Willie to jump in the ice bath with us all the time, and Kevin's been at several of our events. We've actually we ate at Three Forks, a couple ribeyes with him, and smoked cigars. Kevin's amazing. I haven't had met Dr. Gary Chapman, but definitely just, researching more about his story and everything like that. I know Karen and JC have gotten a little more acquainted with him, but like the guy's phenomenal. And you know him for the 5 love languages, but like the way that applies to business and also how your personal life affects business, I'm actually pretty excited about him, even though I'm not married. But he
the book right here.
actually got the book.
Like, we literally got signed copies for the event, so I'm super excited. We're getting all this boxes, in the house. But anyways, thank you guys for staying, this far. I know that it was a lot of information. Hopefully it was impactful for you and your business as you're wanting to grow and scale your agency with stability. That's what we're all about. And I just want to say, like, from Committed Mastermind, we're all focused on how do we help you succeed. And from our personal experience, how do we help agencies that are getting there and that are growing to do it way better than when we first started? We had the blessing of getting to the Inc. 5000 list for 3 years in a row as an agency, as High Digital. And the fact that, it's not only us that gets to pour into our community. David's pour into the community, Matt DeSeno, Vinny, and all these amazing leaders that we have, Brad Ball and JC, obviously, but all these amazing leaders that we have pouring into the community. How do we become better leaders for our agencies, better businesses to impact not only our clients, but the teams that we have? So if you have any questions on that, there's a button here. If you want to schedule a call to just have another conversation, or how can you apply some of these topics that we talk about today in your agency from an operations standpoint, from innovation, sales, lead generation, whatever. We're happy to just have a chat and just keep on working with you guys on the agency space. And hopefully we'll see you next month. So thank you guys. Big thank you, Keagan, as well, for sharing again. Thank you so much. See you guys.